what really makes for a good project selection? And what should African government be looking at when it comes to selecting the right project?
I think governments really need to understand more about where these risks should be allocated, what do investors look for, and when you take projects to bankability or for the financial close, what do those institutions look at on the risk allocations? On long linear projects such as rails and roads, there's an enormous amount of unforeseen ground condition risk. You just don't know what you're going to get into when you start cutting into the earth. Whereas in power projects, typically the risk associated with the construction is a lot less because it's a finite area. You know what it takes to build that type of power project. So governments need to have a flexible model in understanding where you allocate those things. And government should also look at what are the projects that they should be leading under a fast track model that's going to contribute to other projects being done by the private sector, such as a motorway. It's very difficult for a private sector to come in and invest into a greenfield motorway, which could really open up the manufacturing, the services, and other facilities that can be built. And if you look at private sector trying to take on that risk of the linear construction, of the unknown traffic volumes, of all those risks associated with it, it takes years, if not decades, to actually reach financial close, if it reaches that at all. Where if governments take the lead on those particular type of projects, and then they could either privatize it off to be operated under a concession type model, so that you ensure that you get the best quality, you get the international standards for running the efficiencies of that motorway, then the private sector can focus on other things that make sense, such as new power projects under IPP schemes, or manufacturing, or process facilities, or pipelines where you know that that's being to be used for commercial services. So where private sectors can step in and feed into projects where they have other private sectors that are going to be off-takers, that makes a lot of sense. Where you have lots of unknowns and lots of risks associated, and it's mainly public use, those are particular areas where we think that the government should take the lead on.